Jesus, I don't know what's happening, guys. These hummingbirds are bugging me. Oh, wait, I think I know why. I promised to release something months ago. Well, let's get to it. Hey everyone, welcome to the Emerald Show. How did you all sleep? Really? Well, that's just great. You know, I slept pretty great myself too. Today we're going to take a look at the Emerald Fund strategy. It is just released today and it allows you to do everything that you want in Hummingbot version 2 rolled into a very beginner-friendly package. It also has a lot of other cool features that might even be interesting to more advanced users, including the ability to backtest across a wider range of markets, multiple time slots, and across different market conditions. Before we dive into this peculiarity, let's take a look at the history of how this came to be. On June 12th, I met up with the Hummingbot CEO Fangtality and with Dardo Nachi, and they gave me a crash course on the new Hummingbot version 2. This really gave me a huge insight on how things were working and how things were made, and also allowed me an opportunity to clear up any confusion that I had about the platform. Because version 2 was really new compared to version 1, there was a lot to go over, and this crash course really helped me to get going really fast. So thanks a lot for that, Dardinetti and Fangtality. I've been using Hummingbot to trade automatically for pretty much, I guess, 5 years or something now. And I built up a lot of experience across the years, custom strategies, that sort of thing. And the release of Hummingbot version 2 really was an opportunity to roll it all into one, share it with you guys as a thank you, and to give something back and to pay it forward, so to say. One of the more funny things that shows how involved I am with Hummingbot is my little Mac Mini that is running on solar energy, trading 24/7, using so little power that it's basically running for free. On top of the machine, there's a little Lego dragon guarding it while I am away. And this creation is called the Modern Dragon Horde. Now let's take a look at what Emerald Fund really is and what it does compared to the original Hummingbot. While Hummingbot version 2 contains the ability to backtest, to optimize, and to create strategies, it is often in very different packages of software, making it a little bit harder for beginners to get into it. They could use the demo configurations in the dashboard, but that doesn't really let them create their own thing. So the Emerald Fund strategy rolls this up into one singular user interface, allowing you to create, backtest, and optimize your strategy from one place without ever having to leave the dashboard. That is pretty nice when it comes to beginners, but we also want to add something for more advanced users. For that, we include a very powerful backtesting and optimization feature that allows you to test across different market conditions, different time frames, and add some randomness to it in order to test on different randomized sections of the market. Now, why is this very important? Well, the thing is, if you take a look at the original Hummingbot, when you do a backtest or optimization, you can only do that on one section of the market. And when you do that, it might get really profitable, but once you test it on a different section, a different length, or an entirely different time frame of the market, you're typically out of luck. This is because your strategy fits across this specific data, but not really across different market conditions. For example, at the time of making this video, the last couple of weeks were very turbulent for crypto, making it going up really fast or going down really fast. For example, in the last week, if you buy more often than sell, then you're almost always in profit. But that doesn't mean that that will happen the next week. The Emerald Fund optimization framework lets you test that across different sections. The only way around that with the original Hummingbot is to optimize across a really large section of the market, let's say the last 6 months. But this means that you have to test across a half a year of data every time you test a new strategy. This takes a really long time, and it doesn't guarantee that your strategy will work across a smaller section of the market because you test only across this really large section. With the Emerald Fund, you can easily configure your sections and you can see what you're actually testing on before doing it. This allows you to make sure that your strategy survives across different market conditions. Another really cool thing about the Emerald Fund strategy is that it has its own format that allows you to use both perpetual market making as well as directional trading strategies. This allows you to share one code base for both strategies if you like. This format is also completely integrated in the dashboard. When you create variables in your strategy, they can automatically be optimized without the user having to code them. This lets you have a sort of no-code interface for all of the things that you normally would do in separate packages. Also, when the optimization phase is done, the configuration file of the best strategy is automatically created. and it lets you immediately save it and use it as you wish. This level of integration makes sure that the Emerald font is very user-friendly as well as extremely useful for advanced users. Another interesting feature that is coming very soon is Emerald Font Llama, which is an AI assistant integrated in the dashboard which allows you to automate pretty much everything that the Emerald font can do, while still keeping the ability to give feedback or give your preferences to update the strategy as you see fit. This means that when the user gives their risk preferences, the strategy is being created for them, backtested for them, and updated accordingly when the user gives any feedback. There's also another trick up the sleeve of the optimization framework. Rather than testing for profit alone, it tests on two objectives, which is profit, but also the max drawdown. The max drawdown is the distance between the peak of your profits and the lowest bottoms of your losses. This is basically the largest dive in loss that your strategy has made during testing. By optimizing for minimizing this as well, it means that your strategy isn't just optimized for creating the largest profit, but also making sure that it gets the smallest losses. The reason why this feature is there is because profit isn't the only thing. Let's say you made a $30,000 profit in 1 week, but you actually had a $50,000 loss the day prior. That means that you actually had to create $80,000 profit minus the $50,000 loss will give you $30,000. It may look like a lot of money, but somewhere down the line you lost a lot too. This is what our optimization framework prevents. The feature updates on the optimization framework are also forked back into the QuantLab feature, which is the official backtesting framework from Hummingbot itself. This means that Emerald Font and the Hummingbot will share the same features, which is another way for me to give back to the community, and also a way for the really advanced users that don't really want to deal with the Emerald Font to enjoy the same kind of risk management that Emerald Font users are having. Now that all the features are laid out, let's take a look at how it works. After the installation, you have a new section in your dashboard called Emerald Font. You get two sections where you can test different kind of strategies. The Emerald Font repo contains example strategies that are ready to use in the dashboard and are made in our custom format. Feel free to copy one of the example strategies and paste them in the editor. Once you've done this, you can see that immediately there is a visualizer that shows not only the price and the signals, but also the strategy data, which is dependent on what kind of strategy you have. In this case, it's the simple moving average delta, which is a variable that we created in our source code. As you can see, it immediately edits it into the dashboard, creating a no-code-like environment. As you can see, our strategy format is pretty straightforward. It contains the type, the parameters, custom functions, and this function which processes the candles and returns the signals, which then in turn updates this graph. Now, there's a couple of features here, the optimization and the backtesting. Backtesting is basically the same thing as any other strategy, but the real interesting features lay in the optimization framework. You can give a study name. In this case, we just call it Hey Fangtality because I like Fangtality, but also Dardonaci. As mentioned before, you can test across larger sections of the market. For example, all the way from June to today's date. Of course, this will take a really long time because you test across 3 months of data. In order to speed things up while also making sure that your strategy is tested across different random sections of the market, making sure that it's optimized for running in different periods of time, you can click this checkbox and then create different sections as well as gaps between each day and some randomness should you want that. Once you're done, you can click on Optimize. Now you can see that the study is running. After a while, it has gathered data and it will display it to you in the dashboard in real time. I'm now testing across only 10 trials, which isn't really that much to gather a real profitable strategy. Normally speaking, you would test across multiple trials, like 1,000 or something. Once the study is done, the configuration will be offered to the user and you can load it directly into the dashboard. Now we have loaded our best configuration that we just tested. As you can see, the parameters in the code have been automatically updated as well as the rest of the strategy configuration. Now we can visualize our updated and optimized strategy and backtest it across any date that we choose. As you can see, the strategy is now much more optimized to be profitable across different sections of markets. A very powerful feature from the Emerald Fund. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoy. The relevant links will be in the description below. Also, if you like my content, feel free to join my Patreon. It will really motivate me to keep going. In return, you'll get exclusive access to early features, including those from the Emerald Fund, as well as being the first to test out the AI features and a custom role on my Discord server. What more could one want? Last but not least, if you make money using my tools, consider paying it forward. If you have a friend in need, online or in real life, consider giving them a share of your profits. and tell them to pay it forward too. You'll never know when you'll be the one in need for help, and for the time being, it is a very fulfilling experience. It is actually how the Emerald Fund has came to be. It was a project to anonymously donate money to people in need, and above all, just have fun. It's not all about the profits. Well, if you're going to bed, of course, Nini, draggies, and other peculiarities, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.